right, so let's start our webinar with Crestron. We're going to talk about the connection between the integration between Microsoft Teams, Zoom, and their XIO device. If you don't know, VSGI is an integration firm dedicated to empowering collaboration. We provide highly customized solutions for video conferencing, meeting spaces, digital signage, distance learning, operation centers, video walls, everything related to audiovisual. We leverage premier partnership with top vendors like Crestron, and we curate to integrate, innovate AV products for your optimal experiences. So after I give my spiel, I will give the floor to our friends in Crestron. Thank you very much.
Hey, good afternoon. Thank you all for joining us today. I'm Antoine Jefferson with Crestron Electronics. I work with VSGI, and today we're going to be here to talk about video conferencing solutions for every space, Crestron Flex. We're going to start off a little different. I'm going to turn it over to my partner, Zach Shearer, who's going to talk about XIO Cloud. It's really the differentiator for us. It's the ability for us to help manage and monitor all of your different systems throughout each enterprise solution. With that, Zach, go ahead and take it away, sir.
Absolutely. Thank you, Antoine. So I know my label there says Antoine Jefferson, but I am Zach Shearer. I'm the technical director here for the Mid-Atlantic Crestron. And really, we'd like to start out talking about the entire ecosystem that is Crestron. So in part of that ecosystem, and really what wraps up all of our products, especially Crestron Flex in this hybrid work environment that all of us are in today, is XIO Cloud. So what XIO Cloud is, it's running on the Microsoft Azure portfolio. And by running within Microsoft Azure, it's still it's utilizing the same secure principles that probably most of your organizations are using today by going through O365. Within the that O365 and within the secure aspect of that Azure platform, all of that data, or the data that is outbound connections from Crestron devices from those conference rooms going into XIO Cloud, and then it gives you that one single pane of glass management for all of those devices. And so with that, now you have one location that you can log into from anywhere in the globe to be able to monitor and to be able to control any of those conference rooms. So if you have multiple locations throughout the United States or throughout the world, multiple office locations, where you have someone sitting in a conference room, they're trying to start a meeting or figure out how to get their laptop up onto the display, but you're sitting because of the remote work environment and the hybrid nature of the work environment today, you're working from home that day and supporting from home. XIO Cloud really enables that. And it'll enable that because you can still take that phone call, you can log into XIO Cloud and see what the end user is seeing and then help walk them through that. From that side of it, you also get the management perspective from staying up to date with security releases and updates and firmware updates from Crestron. And so with anything that Antoine is going to be sharing with you today, as we go through Flex, as we go through kind of what these environments look like, just know where we stand out as a manufacturer, from AV products to control to unified communications. And really what, is going in a lot of these spaces today is that Crestron, has a product for all of that within our ecosystem, and it all can wrap up and be controlled and monitored through that XIO Cloud. So go ahead, Antoine.
Thanks, Zach. So getting right into it. Today, we're just going to talk about Crestron and the solutions for every room. So Flex video conferencing. Sorry. So obviously we know that today's work environment is a little different than what we're used to. Over the past year, video is no longer just a luxury, it's an essential. Users need to know that they can confidently hold both a hybrid meeting and an in-person meeting, but they also have to have high quality audio and visual in their spaces. Everything must work in order to have a simple user experience throughout the entire system. The stress of custom configuration and having different rooms with different user interface is a thing of the past, and we're able to help mitigate that with the new user interface that we have with Crestron Flex. So let's help you support your workplace with the 2021 and beyond. It's a collaborative technology. The hybrid workforce requires different tools, including spaces at the home. Video conferencing and AV integration is critical for a simple user interface. So a typical day could look like this. You start off the morning, 8 a.m. in your office. Flex personal communication device provides you with your day's calendar and ability to connect with your clients and your coworkers. 9:15, you have an emergency meeting. Your colleagues need to review the spreadsheets before the team meeting. No problem. Crestron scheduling touchscreens allow you to connect to your calendaring system. It also indicates a nearby huddle room is available. That way you have the ability to schedule your workspace right from your desk. 10 o'clock, you have a team meeting. Your colleague quickly pairs their Bluetooth device to the Crestron Flex tabletop conferencing system, and you're able to discuss your meeting in real time. 12 o'clock, you have your global meeting. You head to your next meeting with the illuminated hall signs. You're able to find your location easily. And then next thing you do is go and have your one touch to join meeting, and you're in your next session. 3:30 comes around, you have the afternoon training session where you're into your integrated room, maybe your training room with a divisible space. Now you have the same user interface through every session. So why choose Crestron Flex? You've got native solution, whether it's Zoom or Teams. You have the ability to add a BYOD support. So that way you can bring your laptop, no additional hardware, software downloads, simple deployment, single Cat5 cable across the entire room, no need for separate extenders. XIO Cloud, ability to manage and monitor your entire system remotely. Exceptional audio, microphone, and speaker quality throughout the entire platform. Multiple form factors. So every space, every type, every size. And the ability to integrate with your audio visual system. So seamlessly integrate with your session into your spaces. So the complete collaboration experience. Microsoft Teams or Zoom Room, BYOD native collaboration, AV integration into the rest of your spaces, the ability for dual display, intelligent camera, and a single cable extension for your spaces. What can you do with Flex? Simple, consistent user interface. Same thing every time. AV integration again, control the call, be able to integrate with your lighting system, your shades. Native BYOD, the ability to plug in if you have a local meeting where you don't need to do video conferencing. And then easily installation with pre-wired assemblies. That way you can take a single cable to the table. Not messy, clear, clean, and precise. Then finally, again, you can provision everything via cloud. Switch between Microsoft Teams or Zoom through cloud collaboration. Again, one thing you're going to be able to do as well is to give your user experience single, consistent, same every time. Single experience that works and looks the same for all of your users. You don't have to teach them something new for each individual scenario. If you choose Teams for your platform, Teams will be the easiest thing to teach your guys on. Or if you use Zoom, the same platform, it's going to have the same user interface throughout every single space. So whether it's a small tabletop solution or a larger conference room, you're going to have the same user interface. And it's the same thing for the BYOD. Our goal is to make it simple, scalable, and repeatable for every single space.
Yeah, Antoine, can I jump in there just
Absolutely.
for a second? So what's powerful about the Crestron Flex solution as well, as Antoine had mentioned, the ability to be able to switch. So by looking at the Crestron Flex advanced kits or any of those kits that have the X in them, and I'll drop a link here in a minute so you can see what that what those look like. With that advanced kit, if you're a Zoom partner today and utilizing Zoom rooms, but thinking about Teams, or if you're Teams and you're thinking about going, transitioning to Zoom, with the advanced kits from Crestron, from us, you'll be able to flip that switch, update those, login information for that MTR, that Microsoft Teams room, or that login information for that Zoom room, and to be able to make that switch without having to trade out hardware. So, kind of think about that and just know that we enable that, with our hardware on those advanced kits. So if you are, Zoom today and thinking about it, just know that you'll have that option in the future.
Thank you, Zach. So beyond just starting a meeting, Crestron provides automation, including AV, wireless presentation, lighting, shades, scheduling, room controls, and more. So you're able to empower your organization to create and manage your efficient smart building ecosystem using one single platform. You don't have to utilize multiple vendors throughout the process. You have one go-to for the entire solution. So adding complexity and hidden places and expenses, you don't have to worry about that. So if you're utilizing a bridging device, you're not going to have to pay extra with the Crestron devices. Everything is built in with our systems. So again, just beyond starting the meeting, you have the ability to utilize Crestron room control without having to program as well. So you have the ability to switch audio, adjust the audio, lower and raise hands, set the lighting controls, or change the temperature. So expand the video conferencing experience natively without, again, programming. So no custom programming or UIs that you have to worry about. You can program the same UI for each individual station. And it's the only manufacturer that does this. You can't find that same thing without having to have a bridging solution or something else that's going to cost more to get that same thing accomplished. So again, building the enterprise throughout with a flexible and complete enterprise ecosystem, you're able to integrate and expand your capabilities thoroughly. Only Crestron can offer this scalable enterprise management technology solution. And these are just some of the different endpoints that you have to work through. The C series is going to be your custom integration. Your B series is going to be your room front tabletop series or your room front solution. And the M series is going to be your tabletop solution. We'll get into those a little bit more later. So simplify your technology with Crestron. No need for multiple vendors. You avoid the stress of custom configuration and programming devices that were never intended to be customized. And it eliminates the added challenges of having to scale across different, the enterprise with different UIs and customization. So Crestron has a simple and scalable platform for all of your spaces, no programming, whether it's an open platform or an open space, as you can see here. To your boardrooms. We even have the ability to add a roller cart for your custom spaces as well. Plug and play solutions with out-of-the-box functionality. Web configurable solutions that help make your solutions easy for not only your end users, but your IT team as well.
Hey, Antoine, can I jump in real quick?
Sure.
So Jerry had a question about third-party connect. That's what I'll call that. So if you have a Microsoft Teams room or an MTR type setup, and you want to be able, you allow for third-party connect, so you can schedule that room for a Zoom meeting or for a WebEx meeting. That is very possible to be able to do that as long as you allow for that within the application. Similar to the Zoom rooms, they have third-party connect as well through WebRTC. And so you can invite that Zoom room to a Teams meeting or that WebEx meeting, and then have that one touch to join experience, just like you see on your screen here for an MTR. It would just say Zoom, right? And it would have that join button there. When you set up that Zoom meeting, so an end user from their laptop, or you would forward that Zoom meeting on, as long as it allows for guest join, for guests to join Whether or not you want to have it, a lobby set up for that Zoom meeting, you can enable that, or you can, disable the lobby, but still allow guests to join that meeting. So that is possible. The other question that came on there was the proximity feature. So the proximity feature with MTR, that proximity feature is utilizing Bluetooth. It could also, utilize local proximity on the network. So if you're on that same VLAN within that network, that use case there, if you see the walk-up meeting from 11:30 to 12 that's on your screen now, if Antoine walked into that conference room with his laptop, if he was invited to the meeting, as well as the room, when he joined the Teams meeting or goes to join the Teams meeting from his laptop, whenever you click join on your laptop on Teams, it always pulls up that little dialog box, and Zoom does, very similar, that asks you to set up your microphone and your camera. If you look there underneath there on the Teams side, it'll say a room system. So then you can just click that room system. And if you're scheduled in the room and it knows proximity wise that you're there, you can join from the room system. So join your laptop, but it would mute your microphone and speakers so you don't get all that feedback. And then it would join the room system as well, so you can move forward with your meeting. So hopefully that answered your questions there, Joe.
Thank you, Zach. So again, the ability to support easily changing between conferencing services without additional hardware or software allows you any of the rooms to support one-touch meeting to join, like Zach said. Others require extra hardware or softwares, like I mentioned before, or a bridging service to do the same thing. Or you have the ability for BYOD for any platform. So let's say you have a conference meeting or conference that you have to do on WebEx. You can utilize your soft codec or your laptop, plug in to the USB and then the HDMI, and you utilize the peripherals of the camera and the microphone within the room system as well. Very similar to what Zach mentioned, but this time it's wired. So going through the family of products, you have your personal workspaces, which is your personal desk, your executive offices, your common areas, things like that, where you're going to have your Microsoft Teams phone. You have your Mercury Mini that's capable of Zoom or Teams, and then you have your common areas that you could utilize a Mercury Mini as well, and your tabletop Teams conference phones for that space if you have an audio only version. For your smaller rooms, you have 2 to 6 people, no more than 10 feet from the display, where you're utilizing either your Mercury Mini or your front of the room solution or your B series. The medium to larger rooms, you also have the ability for 6 to 12 people, no more than 20 feet from the display. In those spaces, you're going to utilize your tabletop Mercury kit or your soundbar with the Teams room system as well. Custom spaces are more of your training rooms, your divisible spaces, things like that. All of your custom integrated spaces where you're going to have 12 or more people. The size is going to be determined by the use of the space. And you're also going to have the ability to integrate within, like I said, the other AV system. And then outside of the room, you have the ability to utilize your scheduling platform, whether you utilize Teams, any other platform you can tie into your system, your enterprise system. So going over the small tabletop Flex Minis, your Mercury Minis, its ability to have Teams, Zoom, or BYOD functionality, also powered with XIO Cloud, 10-foot microphone pickup range, 40% smaller footprint than your standard Mercury or your M series, 7-inch touchscreen for easy display, also integrates with the Simple Control. Android-based appliance with the Windows-based PC options, you get to choose your preference for the device management. So for our B series, listen where you're looking. Keeps the table nice and clean, open and free. The device option is an Android-based appliance with a Windows-based PC, and you have to choose your preference for the device management as well. The soundbar has a built-in DSP and the ability to auto frame with the 4K camera. It also has the ability to people count as well for when you go back into a scenario where you may or may not have to utilize your space or conference room with occupancy in mind. So medium spaces, again, it's your Mercury, their standard Mercury, isolated acoustics, 20-foot microphone pickup range, integrates with your audio and visual as well. And it's, again, available for Teams, Zoom, or BYOD. Dual mode capable has been one of the things that we've seen a lot as we've been getting back into the office and hybrid spaces. For our larger spaces, you have the ability to do the same thing with either a custom or a M series, the M70, which adds the larger PTZ camera with the extended microphone pucks for greater audio pickup. And then finally, your custom series is your C series, which has the ability to collaborate, call, utilizing integration with your DSPs, things like that, your occupancy sensors. The total full integration is going to be for your C series and custom spaces. And then for our series to bring Flex into any space, we have the ability to add Flex to a roller cart where you'll have the B series, the M series capabilities to add to the cart. And you also have the capability for Microsoft Zoom or Teams. And it's also BYOD capable as well. So overall, dual mode technology allows us to give you an 80-20 solution. Every type of workspace can support native one-touch meetings, no PC required via the corporate standard service, Teams or Zoom, while additionally supporting other web video conferencing. So if you have to bring in your computer for either WebEx, BlueJeans, or some other scenario, you have the capability to do that as well, without requiring additional hardware or software. Others simply don't allow this capability with the same workspace or without having to add more technology to your space.
Yeah, I think if you go back to that slide, Antoine, what's
Sure.
great there is you see on the right there on the slide now that Mercury is kind of sliced in half, and on the left-hand side you have your traditional, your MTR, press here to join, one touch to join type solution. On the right there, what it's showing you is there's a dialog box. So if you're wondering, like, what is that user experience for BYOD? User comes in and they need to have that go-to meeting that they're hosting or they're going to be a part of, but they, really want to use the professional microphone and speakerphone camera setup in that space that's meant for that space. Then they plug that USB into their laptop. That's the dialogue that pops up there, and it lets the end user know, to go back to their laptop now to continue with their UC conference that they're going to be having. And then all of the peripherals will shift over to their laptop for that. So I know some folks have, it's a question that always comes up is, what is that experience like? What does it look like? And you'll see there on the right, of course, it's only half of it, but it puts that dialog box there for the end users so they know to go back to their laptop.
Thanks, Zach. So impact of the workflow. So this is a real life example of how this would work for Flex. So say you have a meeting where the CEO has to go in and they're the presenter, or they have an outside presenter coming in that would otherwise use a different service, a Cisco or BlueJeans or something else. They can come into the office, plug in, utilize the space for their presentation, and then the space returns back to a one-touch to join meeting. So the next, a little bit later on, the CEO has to join from the table, join a Zoom meeting from the table. All he has to do is go into the space, press the one touch to join, and there you go. But both meetings can happen in the same room with the same unit, and it doesn't have to switch in between. It's just simple plug in or one touch to join for the next meeting. So touchless flow with Crestron room scheduling, provide a safe navigation through the building with your colleagues with Crestron room indicators for digital signage. That way you can see which rooms are available, which rooms are not. Each sign has the ability to indicate whether or not the room is available. You can remotely reserve the room from your actual desk if everything is there. And then it gives you the ability to get to the space that you need, that you know is clean and ready for your next meeting. And the cool thing about this is that you have the ability to return the room to a no-show. So let's say if somebody books the room, but then with the occupancy sensors, it determines that no one's been in there for 15 minutes or so, or however long you determine. You have the ability to program the room to where it can kick out the room or make it available again for rebooking. As I just mentioned here with the decline for no-show, again, it automatically opens up your room and your space back for use again. Touchless room control has also been something that we've been exploring over the past few months. Make your enterprise completely touchless with the use of audio-enabled devices such as your Echo, or if you use Google Home, those devices can also be incorporated into your spaces. The ability to safely navigate your rooms without touching the surfaces is something that's been really explored over the past few months, and we've taken it to heart, knowing that there are different scenarios in which every office environment's a little different. So we've built that in as well. And back to XIO Cloud, tying it all together, leverage the intelligent, actionable data that system that we have. Room usage, people counting, room capacity, and cleaning updates can all be programmed into your XIO Cloud. One person has the ability to deploy, quickly manage, or monitor the spaces. So if there's a piece of equipment that goes down in your room, you'll know before you have to start a meeting. Or let's say you wanted to do a check every morning prior to going in the office. You can easily do that remotely as long as you have the access to your XIO Cloud. Everything is password protected, utilizing Microsoft Azure technology as well. Others require additional on-premise hardware or software, but everything comes with the ability to tie into XIO Cloud as soon as it's purchased. So now you have ServiceNow API or ServiceNow support, APIs, integration. So you have the ability to not only integrate with Crestron, but we have third-party integration as well. And that's something that no other company can offer right now. And again, monitoring your workplace, Crestron doesn't lock you into your video conferencing service. We're going to be able to remotely switch between Teams or Zoom as long as the company determines which one they want to use. Simply change the settings via XIO Cloud, via firmware, and avoid being locked in. If you have a CEO that comes in and decides that Zoom is no longer the way to go, or Teams is no longer the way to go, you don't have to worry about purchasing more equipment to update your room. Finally, some of the best support throughout the entire industry. Advanced support with unprecedented levels of coverage, single source, 24-hour, 7 days a week support for your technology, allowing your organization to focus on productivity while maintaining your peace of mind. Gives you the ability to have firmware updates, any advanced replacement, discounted on-site service if there are issues, and that service is available for up to 5 years. In summary, from personal spaces to large custom spaces, all Crestron Flex products give you the same user interface, the ability to scale and deploy simply using one source, connecting to all the technology, utilizing XIO Cloud, or monitoring and managing your solution through the cloud. Only Flex can cover every space. Crestron Flex has the ability to cover your open spaces, your personal desktops, anything from your smallest spaces to your largest custom spaces. BYOD in every room, single user interface for every room, and cloud management for every solution. We've got a proven engineering platform, consistent experience across all of the workflows, out-of-the-box configurable functionality, and supports the addition of third-party equipment without the complexity to integrate them. comprehensive solutions that fill the gaps, consistent unified support, cloud capabilities enabled at every level. We've got you covered. Some of the resources that we have available for you. I'll make these available to Paulo, and he can send these out to the invitee list as well. And thank you, and we'll be able to answer any questions that you might have.
Yep, we've had a couple come in. So Gerald has a question. How are the updates done with the units? Firmware updates, Windows 10 updates, Teams updates. This is done through through Windows, through that Windows 10 side of it. They go out every morning, MTR appliances, about 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, it's built into them to go out to the Microsoft Store and look for the MTR application update, and then the Windows updates as well. If this is something that you'd like to manage, just so you know when those updates are pushing, that is a possibility, but I would say just, work with us in setting that up, as you'd want to set those up specific to the appliance, right? So you wouldn't want to, lump them in with a group with other endpoints that you're managing there. So I would say we can have that conversation, just dive into and see exactly what you're looking to do with the management there, but you'd want to treat them as appliances for that, because there's going to be certain updates that are going to carry along with them firmware for the peripherals, because any peripheral that's hanging off of or attached to that UC engine will need to be managed by that UC engine. That's including the Mercury device and the touch panel, or the standalone 10-inch touch panel for that. Yep. So I think that, yeah, Gerald, that goes through the rest of that. And then XIO, yes, through XIO you can push. So if you have other peripherals within the space, such as an occupancy sensor or a scheduling panel outside, or if it's if you're doing shade control and a number of those are more robust switching, then yeah, that's XIO is going to help you with that as well, as far as managing all of the firmware updates there. Another piece of it that Antoine touched on is the Zoom room controls, as well as the room controls within MTR. You'll be able to manage that through XIO as well. So if you have an update to your logo and you need to be able to push that out, you'd be able to do that with XIO Cloud. So Bill, yeah, the question's coming in as well as far as USB-C, USB-A with Macs. That's going to depend on the Mac. If they're the newer style Macs, we have a list on our site. If you're interested in that, let me know. I can share that with you based on some of our testing that we've done in-house. As many know, Macs are usually pretty tricky with that, just because of the HDCP aspect to it, and then USB-C, just where that exists today as far as a standard with how that's handling it. So we've been doing a lot of testing, and we've been documenting that on our site as far as what's working today with USB-C. And what our experience has been there with plugging into these products. Now, that doesn't mean it's not going to work later. That's just what is working today with that. And Gerald, yep, there is a 60-day free trial for testing out XIO that gets you 10 days. 10 rooms for 60 days. Excuse me. It is all room-based licensing. So yeah, if that's something, if that's something that you're interested in doing, I would say, make sure you're ready to do that trial, because it is 60 days. And so if you have 10 rooms identified that you'd like to get in there and, start trialing that, then, let's have a conversation with that, just so we can ask you some questions, similar to that specifiers handbook that we had out there for some other applications we have, just to really think through that before starting that trial, because it will be, the 60 days there. So.
Greg.
And
Greg had a question about the UC M50Z. The system does have a built-in microphone. That is part of the Mercury system. The Mercury system has a built-in microphone that picks up to about 20 feet. It also has a pretty solid audio system, speaker system that can pump it out.
Absolutely. Yeah, we use, so the M50, we have an M70 inside of our office in Fulton. So for those of you that don't know, we have a showroom local to the DC area in Fulton, Maryland. And in Fulton, Maryland, we have a large conference room. It's about 36 by 14 in size, and a single Mercury unit is on that table and picks up that room. We do have additional mic pods in there for ease of use for muting and unmuting audio. But our showroom is open, so we invite you to come in and check it out, so you can hear it and touch it and see it for yourself there.
Another question was the team and Zoom simultaneously through XIO?
Absolutely, because you're bringing in the Crestron device into XIO Cloud, right? So whether it's running a Zoom room, whether it's running Microsoft Teams room, you're going to see that device, and then based on your nomenclature and how you label those, you'll see them that way, and then within those rooms as well. So then, if it's a Zoom room, you'll be able to identify it. But through XIO Cloud, that's where you'll be able to do that mode swap as long as it's an advanced kit. So, Bill, yep, I will send out that list. I'll send that over to Paolo, and he can send that out with information for everyone there. And thank you, Greg.
Do we have any other questions?
All right, I can give a quick screen share here if you guys just want to quickly see what that XIO Cloud looks like. Is everyone able to, you guys see my screen there?
Looks good.
There we go. So this is, as we were talking about before, kind of, begin with the XIO Cloud and what that is, and then kind of end on this as well. This is, with the XIO Cloud and the licensing tiers, when you get the EM, which is the basic tier and entry level into XIO Cloud, and then the S, or the support aspect to it. With that S tier comes the dashboard. So this is a dashboard. As soon as you log into it, you're going to be able to see, get a snapshot, a heartbeat snapshot of everything that's online or offline, as well as all of those occupied rooms. So you'll be able to go into, these spaces here and see, which rooms are occupied and, which rooms are not occupied, right? So you can see Antoine is using his Mercury. You've been hearing him through his Mercury, but because it does have the motion sensor built into the front of it, you can see that it's picking up and showing occupied. And then you can see that the Mercury that I'm sitting in front of here as well is picking me up. So one of the things I'll just highlight quickly before turning it back over to Paolo is the capability for that remote control, for that remote monitoring, that remote desktop, that help. So here is a demo unit for an MTR system that I have. It's a B30 system, and you're getting a live look here of the 10-inch panel, for that system. And so you can see I can request control of that. And again, no additional programming here. You're just flipping a switch to allow for that Cloud Connect, and it's going to be an outbound connection to Azure, to our XIO Cloud instance. And now I'm able to come in here and start, helping an end user navigate this screen, so they can get their meeting started. So if it was a one touch to join, I could easily go in there and do the one touch to join there for them. All right, Paolo, I'll stop sharing here and hand it back over to you.
Thanks, Zach. Oh, Paolo, you're still muted.
Oh, I'm sorry. We have any other questions? We're still good? Well, my friends, thank you so much, everybody that attended. Thank you so much for participating. We record this webinar, so we'll be sending to everybody that participated, that couldn't attend, and to everybody that would like to watch it and learn more about this great product that Crestron has with us. And thank you, Zachary. Thank you, Antoine. You guys always rock stars. Thank you so much. And I hope you guys have a great day. Hope to see you guys in the next one.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you.